Hi, everyone. Tommy Igo from Bad Golf for Good here today for another Spotlight nonprofit interview with the founder and CEO, or the Chief Empowerment Officer of the Momentum Network, Cara Hicks. Welcome, Cara.
Thanks, Tommy. Glad to be here with you.
I'm so glad you could take time out of your busy schedule. I know that you have a million different things going on, and four children on top of that. So thank you so much. I know the end of the school year can get kind of crazy.
Yes.
So, for those of us just hearing about the Momentum Network for the first time, can you briefly describe the mission for us?
Yeah, the Momentum Network exists to help students facing unplanned pregnancies or single moms that need a degree to provide for their families. We provide comprehensive support with housing, childcare, and coaching and connections. And so we really have seen the impact that education can make. And we believe that no mom should have to choose between her baby and a bright future, that she can have both.
Wow, that's incredible. And I'm so happy for you to be sharing more about your mission with me today, because, we just came off of Mother's Day and we should always be thinking about our moms, but particularly around this time, it's very important to making sure that we're doing everything we can for the moms in our lives. Was there a specific moment where you realized that this type of work was needed in our community?
Yeah, so the spark for our mission really started a long time ago when I was a student facing an unplanned pregnancy myself. The same week that I gave my speech as salutatorian, I found myself sitting alone and scared and being told that statistically less than 2% of teen parents graduate from college, and that unless I terminated my pregnancy, I would not be able to persevere, and really felt scared and overwhelmed and wanted to choose both. And that's what I did. I went ahead and went to the University of Georgia, go Dogs, and was so grateful to not only, experience all of the hardships, because it truly is a challenge to go through school with a pregnancy, but also see the beauty of what it can look like when a village steps in to support. Thankfully, University of Georgia did have family and graduate housing that was right on campus. Access to the bus line enabled friends that I made in college to come over and help me. They babysat my son for the first year when he was on a wait list, and I had that support to be able to complete my degree on time. And seeing him in the audience was the biggest gift. And so I recognize that for me, I also was a child of a single mom. My mom was brilliant, and yet not having a degree was a challenge for her with jobs that she wanted to be able to get, but she was not able to receive those jobs because they required a degree. And so she often worked 2 and 3 jobs, and seeing those two specific situations, living those firsthand, made me realize that yes, it can be an incredible challenge to be a single mom or a student facing unplanned pregnancy. And also, it can be beautiful and redeeming to have that support to be able to achieve your dreams, not just for me, but for my entire family. I'm actually a mom of 5 now. My son my younger kids are in school, but being able to do that for my family completely changed the trajectory of my family for generations to come.
Wow, that's incredible. So you were able to, buck the system of saying that you're not going to succeed as a young mother if, you're going to have to choose between raising your child or going on and continuing your education to, get the career and the success that you want. And you said, no, I can do both. That's really powerful. I will have to edit out the Go Dogs thing. I'm sorry. No, it's really great to hear that the University of Georgia, and I'm certain there are several others that have kind of that program, because, and I know it's part of your mission as well, but having the village to kind of help support you is really what it takes. And who better to support than young mothers trying to, better themselves and better the world for their child.
Yeah,
So
they
that's
had the housing set up, but there was no official program, thankfully. And for me, as a person of faith, all of this kind of ties together. But I ended up moving next door to a young single mom who had her child in high school, and she was in nursing school at University of Georgia, and was able to. She was a couple of steps ahead of me, and she really connected me to her community. And so while I didn't have an official program, we did have housing, and we had that community. For me, it was a campus ministry community. And that mom who really connected me to that campus ministry and helped me just take step by step when I applied for resources and initially was denied for those resources. She was a cheerleader saying, go back, you can do this and ask for this person. And so having a journey a couple of steps ahead, she was able to help me tremendously. And we really believe as an organization in solidarity over charity, that the scholar moms that we work with are brilliant. They have lived experience that can be incredibly valuable to their own families, but also to other moms to help them take one step at a time. So it really is a community.
That's wonderful. It's so great to just kind of hear, I've gotten the chance to, hear the missions of several different nonprofits through this work. And I'm always just so impressed and so thankful to all of you who are doing such great work in our community. So after college, what kind of led you to starting the Momentum Network? And then how do the young women of today find your type of support?
Yeah. So for me, I graduated and never really intended on starting a nonprofit. But at some point, I thought I'm going to be wealthy and I'm going to give back and start a scholarship fund. And so it was truly a calling. I had been involved in real estate and recognized the impact of housing, and also that housing is an impediment, that affordable housing is a major challenge, and that we can encourage women to choose their baby in a bright future. But if there are these insurmountable costs like housing and childcare, what are they going to do? And yet, like you just mentioned, there are a lot of incredible community partners in this, a lot of nonprofits. There is a public assistance system that exists, and yet it's overwhelming at times. But through partnership, that was really impactful for me. And so that is what we really build our network upon, is that partnership with other nonprofits. And so to your point, how do people find out about us? We get referrals from our community partners. Word of mouth is probably our top referral source. Our program participants, as they succeed, we encourage them to share their stories in a way that's dignifying and yet in a way that is encouraging to another mom. And so that's probably our top referral source behind our online presence and our community partnerships. Those are really the ways that women get connected to us. But we do want to build out awareness and increase awareness, because there are still a lot of women who don't know about us. And a lot of the moms that come to us oftentimes have already dropped out of college, and maybe that comes with debt or other challenges that they wouldn't face if they heard about us sooner. So we're really trying to get the word out about what we do as early as possible, not to toot our own horns, but to make sure that the women and children that we serve know that we exist, so that we can be a resource for them, and so that we can connect them to other incredible resources in town. Again, like you said, there are a lot of great organizations here in town, and we believe that our role is to be a connector to those great organizations and churches and businesses, to be that village that it takes to transform 2 generations at a time.
And one of the things you mentioned there was that, sometimes women find you when they've already dropped out. Are there opportunities for them to still receive help from your network?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We have a program called Scholar Steps, and it is open to both students who are enrolled or women who are highly motivated to complete college. We take them through a series of steps. We call it mapping out. So we help them identify their mission, assess their situation, create a plan, and track their progress. At the end of that 6-week session, they have a plan, and that plan, sometimes they look at their plan and they see, okay, I can start school this next semester. Here's my budget. Here's my connections. Here are the resources and the steps that I need to take to get there. And then other times they look at their situation and see that I think it's going to take me a little bit longer to be able to do this, but the goal is for them to know what it takes to be able to achieve their dreams.
Awesome. So you've kind of put together the roadmap for them so that they can understand what processes they need to go through to get to where they really want to be. That's
Yes.
incredible. So you mentioned your former background in real estate. I think that's a great segue into, could you tell us a little bit more about the Scholar Village? I read a little bit about this on your website, and I'm curious to learn more.
Yeah, Scholar Village is our campus that is located near UTC, and it is featured in my background. And we have, so we have 11 two-bedroom homes where each mom and child lives on their own. Moms who are involved in our Scholar Village residency program have already gone through that Scholar Steps process, and they have enrolled in school. And so we work with them to provide weekly support in a group setting. They do weekly workshops that include budgeting. They work on their resumes, and at those weekly meetings, they also build connections with each other as well as some community partners. Having gone through my own experience in real estate, I bought my first house straight out of college, but I couldn't have done that without the connections that I made while I was in college. So that social capital piece, while that is oftentimes, a lot of people don't think about that until much later. We're trying to help them network and build relationships with other people while they are at these Thursday night meetings. So they're building relationships with peers, they're building relationships with mentors, and with each other as well. So I got a little bit wordy on that. So if you can edit out, that would be great.
This is a platform for you to tell your story and talk about your mission. So you get as wordy as you want to.
I'll back up and do a little reframe for Scholar Village. So Scholar Village is a comprehensive program that provides housing. We have childcare available on site. While not all of our residential kiddos go to our childcare center, and some who aren't residential can go to our childcare center, that is available conveniently for them. And we provide coaching and community group support on that campus as well. So we have 11 homes. Each home is 2 bedrooms, and that is there for each mother and her child. We can have moms. We've had moms with up to 3 kids who live on campus with us, and they are able to grow better together. We say that it takes a village, and they build relationships with each other, the other moms on campus. They also have Thriving Thursday workshops where they come and they can make connections with community partners and with career mentors as well. And so it really is a multi-layered solution. We believe that it really truly takes a relational village as well as a residential village. And so we bring both of those together. And as a parent yourself, I'm sure you know that time feels so limited. And so when we bring both the relational village together with the residential village, it empowers moms to make those important relational connections that they need in a convenient space, convenient to campus, and other coaching resources and childcare resources for them.
Okay. Yeah, no, I love that. It's, outside of just helping them with affordable housing and childcare, you're really building a community around them where they can connect with others that can help them in their growth path and bounce ideas off of their peers.
Wow.
So yeah, that's incredible. Is there a particular story of a mom's journey that really captures why this work matters? I'm sure there's many stories, but is there one you can share with us that's for you truly powerful?
Yeah, I say that I get to work with the best people, from our supporters to our scholars. And one of the scholar stories that I'd love to share with you, we changed names for protection of privacy, but one of the scholar stories I'd love to share is about Layla. She came to us as a pregnant mom during COVID time, and she was overwhelmed. She was highly motivated to complete college and was on track to complete college when she found out she was pregnant. She had an incredible support system, actually, a really significant mentor in her life who had cheered her on and really encouraged her. But when she found out she was pregnant, the mentor told her that she wouldn't be able to continue mentoring her if she continued with the pregnancy. And yet she still persevered and decided to parent and persist through college. And so she recognized that that meant losing some of her support system. And so she reached out to us. We were connected through one of those community partners. And Layla was equal parts overwhelmed and scared, and also extremely driven. She wanted the best for her baby. And so we got to see her go from being a motivated pregnant student to being an incredible supportive mom. And so Layla found out that her kiddo had autism around the age of 2. And so that challenge, we weren't sure how that would impact her, but she just leveled up, and we saw her step into that advocate mode and make sure that, like she said, when she was pregnant, she wanted to make sure that her baby had the best of resources. And yet in the middle of post-COVID childcare challenges, when she lost childcare, that was very overwhelming. Yet thankfully, we had another community partnership where we were training and equipping future childcare workers, and we were able to get a student who was studying special education to come and work in childcare with us to provide one-on-one care for Layla's little boy. And a couple of months ago, while her baby boy is nonverbal, we watched a video of him sorting his ABCs from A to Z beautifully, and using some of his new supports and communication tools that she advocated for to be able to reach some incredible milestones. So we have watched them both. She graduated from college recently, and we've watched them both just thrive. And in challenging situations, we've seen our moms rise above in ways that society would look on, and just oftentimes we hear, well, you can't do that, and this resource isn't available. And yet when we see our moms set their mind to something, they overcome so many obstacles, and they realize that they're stronger than they thought they were. And, as parents, we'll do a lot to be able to take care of our kids. And we realize sometimes that we have strength that we didn't even know we had ourselves.
Yes, 100%. And I don't think there's anything more powerful than a mama bear, right? Nothing gets in between a determined mother and the success and future of her child. I was lucky enough to have a mother like that. So absolutely an incredible story. And one of the phrases you used, parent and persist, I really like that. I hope you have t-shirts that say that, because I want one.
I love that.
Yeah, that's just a very powerful phrase, I think, because it does take so much to be a present parent, and then all the other things that we have going on in our lives, just add on. But just to parent and persist through that is really, really incredible. I like that phrase a lot.
We see that our moms are like the Olympians of studenthood, that they come into our program. It can be a little overwhelming because it's highly structured. We have them work to build out a calendar where they have their parenting time, they have their study time, they have their work time, everything is calendared in. We ask them to put margin in, because one thing that we can always expect is the unexpected. And so the system is highly structured and built to have flexibility, but to also build in those essential building blocks that really can make the difference between rising above and falling behind. And so we do know that that it's not easy, and yet we believe that everything worth doing is often hard.
Certainly, I would definitely agree with that. So, with all the incredible things that the Momentum Network has done so far, what's on the horizon for the future?
Yeah, so we are super excited. We have loved working with our students here locally. A lot of people are surprised to know that we serve students at UTC, Chat State. We serve students at ETSU, a college in Maine, Covenant College, other online schools as well. And we are excited to expand resources to see if it might be feasible to the red and black in me has had to take a seat back, but we are excited to do a project to see if expanding to University of Tennessee is feasible. So I did buy my first orange dress this year, and have been embracing all that there is to come. But we have a student who graduated recently, and she wanted to start a Momentum in Knoxville. And so we're excited about that potential, but we're also excited about expanding resources here locally. Our Scholar Steps program that we talked about, we're able to help more moms. We're going to kick off a cohort here virtually this summer as well. So we want to help more moms, but that also means getting more support to be able to do that. And so that's what's on the horizon for us.
Certainly. So, what are some of the biggest challenges that your organization faces with growth and just the day-to-day in general?
Yeah, we are still a small organization. Again, there are a lot of community partners who are doing incredible work here in town that have been established for 100 years. So getting our name out and increasing awareness is a challenge that we're excited to continue to embark on. And also with the recent freezes with funding, we have seen some of the challenges. While we are primarily supported by individuals and companies, we don't have big government grants and things like that. Our partnership model really is dependent on those childcare resources, the housing support. Previously, our moms were able to, once they graduate from our program, they could get a voucher to move on into housing elsewhere, and that is no longer the case. So we are exploring partnerships. I am not at liberty to share right now, but we did just, we are in the process of building out a partnership model where it would open up additional housing units for us through partnership. We're exploring building our own property, and yet again, some of those funding freezes are incredible challenges for us. So the childcare is the most pressing. And so again, historically, we have depended on childcare to be provided. There's a childcare certificate program that has been offered through the state and has helped make childcare affordable. For me, 20 years ago, I paid over $200 a week in childcare. And so you can just imagine right now, the average cost of childcare is $13,500 a year.
Wow.
And so if you're working part-time and going to school full-time, that's not possible.
Yeah.
It's not possible. And so we are hopeful that our legislators will do something to make those changes, but we're also hopeful that folks will step in and help us to be creative and make other resources available to be able to help cover the cost of childcare where those programs have fallen behind. Everybody was more aware of the food stamp crisis that happened in November. However, the loss of $200, $300, $400 in food stamps a month is relatively small compared to the loss of around $1,500 in support for childcare. So that's one of the biggest challenges we're facing right now.
Okay. Well, I'm a big believer in the great people of the Chattanooga area, so I know that there's someone out there, and hopefully, maybe that person listens to this little interview and wants to step up. So that being said, what is the best way for someone listening who wants to get involved or volunteer? How can they reach out, and what are the best ways that they can get involved? Is it, can they provide childcare themselves, or is that, you have to get certain certificates for that? How can people get involved with the Momentum Network in a meaningful way?
Yeah, thanks for asking. We encourage people to go on our website and take a look at momentumnetwork.org and /join, and you can sign up and indicate where you would like to help. We do have opportunities to help in the area of childcare. Those Thursday night meetings, we need a childcare team each week. We do have staff, but we also depend on having volunteers as well.
Mm-hmm.
We have opportunities for people to help with meals. And we also just have opportunities for people to help in their area of gifting. So if you are a lawyer and you have legal skills that you're willing to share, we have a way for you to go on to that form and indicate that you're willing to offer those skills or be a career connector. So some of our scholars are kind of certain which pathway they want to go down, but I just talked to a parent at my kiddo's school today. He's a videographer, and we have a future videographer who is in our midst. She actually created a video for our banquet recently, so she's already doing it, but she wants to grow her skills in that career field. And so we love it when folks are willing to be a career mentor or a career connector, and they can sign up online on our website to be able to do that. The licensed childcare that we provide, you do have to go through some steps there, but we are looking to expand that and hire a second teacher. Technically, that's through our partnership with Chambliss, but on our website, you can find ways to indicate if we have a teacher who would like to be a part of that as well. But we have a babysitters club where people can sign up and offer babysitting services. We encourage our moms to vet those services. So that's outside of the regular childcare services. But there are often times where we are on wait list or working through getting some of those childcare scholarships. And so moms do tap into that babysitters club resource.
Wow. Yeah. So many different ways to get involved. That's incredible. So, I mean, obviously for the listeners out there, please go to momentumnetwork.org/join and just, start to ponder on the ways that you can get involved. Obviously, monetary donations always help, I'm sure, but it sounds like just leaning in with your experience and career coaching and making connections for these young ladies that are, starting their career paths and want to provide for their young families. So many different ways to get involved. So that's
internships. One of the things that I know I mentioned a whole bunch of things, but for business owners like you, sometimes there are internship opportunities. We've had folks reach out and say, I'm looking for a part-time person here or an internship here. Those opportunities can be really incredible as well.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah.
I mentioned a whole bunch, so you may need to I my script went blank, and so I should have probably stuck to it. But
that's why I always print mine off, just so that I can.
Smart.
I know. I live and learn. I've tried to have it on different screens, different things like that, and it's just trying to find the right way.
Yes, that would have been smart.
Well, I very much appreciate you sharing your story and the mission of Momentum Networks. But before we wrap things up, if every listener could remember just one thing about the work that Momentum Network is doing, what would you want that to be?
Yeah, I'm so grateful for the village that has come alongside of us. And if everyone could remember that there's no action too small, or there's no gesture that's too small, whether you get involved with us formally through Momentum Network, that online joining portal, or whether you see a single mom and reach out to her and offer a word of encouragement, it truly takes a village. And to invest a simple act of kindness, or if you want to get involved with planned giving, no matter where you're at on the spectrum of support, it really truly does take a village. And when people step in to be a part of that village, 2-generation transformation happens, and you change not only one life, but generations to come.
Thank you for tuning in to another Bad Golf for Good nonprofit spotlight, featuring founder and CEO Cara Hicks of the Momentum Network. To learn more about the mission of the Momentum Network, please visit momentumnetwork.org or join us this coming Thursday as we continue to celebrate with Cara and her team at the next Battle Putt tournament at Topgolf in Chattanooga from 6 to 9 p.m. We look forward to seeing you all there. This has been Tommy Igo from Bad Golf for Good. Remember, golf changes lives. Go play.